Don't prolong the past. The great 19th century Tibetan master Patrul Rinpoche wrote, and I quote, "Don't prolong the past, don't speculate about the future, just dwell in present awareness," end quote. Interesting. And the question is, how best to do this? How do we do it? How do we not dwell on the past or the future, but somehow be mindful of the present, the one place where a future and therefore a new past can be built? Now, the traditional way to do this has been taught for over 2,500 years, and that's called shamatha meditation. The Buddha himself taught it, and there are many, many forms of meditation. Sitting quietly in meditation for a few minutes each day may give me a greater sense of calmness and clarity, but that's not the only or even the main reason to meditate, and certainly not why I meditate. The primary reason to learn to meditate is to build a mental habit of working with mindfulness, with awareness, so that I'm not so easily distracted and carried away all the time, so that I can be just simply present. The habit of meditation, it's not just about sitting on a cushion. Yeah, it's important to learn to sit, to learn to meditate, but that's not the main reason to meditate. Sitting on a cushion builds a habit that we can then use on the cushion, but also off the cushion in the rest of our day, when we're engaged in regular life. We sit and meditate in order to learn mindfulness and to make it a strong habit. But we then use that mindfulness and the awareness that comes out of it, that we learn while sitting in meditation, we use it everywhere else, just all the time. We need it to live clearly. Sitting meditation is not about learning to remain mindful and in the present, as opposed to being endlessly distracted by thoughts of the past or the future. The first thing most people learn when they begin to meditate is that they are in fact easily distracted. That is, you can't just sit and let the mind rest. The moment we sit down, the mind is running all over the place. When beginners try to sit in meditation, they experience their day-to-day distraction firsthand and are pretty much helpless to do anything about it because they've built no meditation habit. Sitting meditation, and I'm not putting it down, it's nice in itself, and it's all about building a habit of being in the present. This is why yogis call their meditation practice. We practice meditation, and that practice prepares us for the rest of our day. The time that we're not meditating on the cushion. And the rest of the day is when we need the habits built up through meditation the most. In my opinion, anyway, many people have the whole idea of meditation just backward. They believe that the relative calm of 10 minutes or half an hour of meditation is why they meditate, to get that a little bit of rest. But the reality is that those 10 minutes, those are our time to practice meditation. That's the time when we learn to meditate. And the rest of the day is when we put that practice, what we've learned, to work. Unless we've practiced meditation on a cushion long enough to actually acquire, the habit of being mindful and present, we literally have nothing to help us keep that awareness with us the rest of the day. It's kind of like a catch-22. We can't just skip meditation on the cushion, be delinquent with our practice and expect to have its results in our daily life. It's not that we sit for 10 minutes, feel a little calmer, and then go on with our life, and that calmness helps us. Of course it does. But soon we're just right back to where we started, in the midst of our endless distraction. It takes actual time sitting on the cushion to build the habit of being present, the habit of being mindful at the times we are distracted, and then learning to bring our attention back to whatever we're doing. This habit is especially beneficial during our post-meditation times, off the cushion. That is, when we're just living life. I don't know about you, but I get carried away, like all the time. I go too far. I say things I don't mean, and I don't always catch myself when I should. Things get out of hand easily for me, and I'm often not even aware of it until somewhere farther down the road. Then I realize that, I'm off base. I'm out of control. I said stuff I shouldn't have. Anyway, the point is that I lack mindfulness. Sitting meditation is about building a habit of mindfulness that alerts me when I'm distracted and allows me to drop that distraction and quickly return to whatever I'm doing. It's a simple habit that has become, over time, automatic. That's why we learn meditation. However, like all habits, it has to actually become a habit. You can't just think it and have it be so. You have to practice meditation until it actually works for you, and you can't just sit and count the minutes, sitting on the cushion until your practice time is over. You just wasted that time. You have to actually do it. It's no different from practicing a musical instrument, except here the instrument is your own mind and your own attention. My point is that while sitting on a cushion for a short time each day, yes, it can be calming and it can be relaxing in itself, but that's not the main reason we meditate. The main reason is to practice being mindful, to practice recognizing when we are distracted, and learn to keep our attention and bring it back to whatever we were doing, whatever we were trying to do, whatever we had set out to do. So the key word here is practice, as in practice makes perfect. If you find that practicing meditation is calming, fine, that's great. But for most beginning meditation practice, for those who are just learning meditation, practice is not that calming. It's just the opposite. Within moments of sitting down on a cushion, we find just how easily distracted we are, or we can be. This is not to say that we can't just sit and mull things over or let the mind cool out and just till it runs like a quiet stream, or we could light a candle, some incense, and kick back in the mind. Of course we can do that. That's just R&R. That's relaxing. There are many ways of soothing the mind, but the technique I'm pointing out here is about being mindful, about mindfulness. Shamatha meditation, as taught by the Tibetans and Zen Buddhists, is about, as mentioned earlier, learning to be mindful and alert. And this takes practice, and like all methods of practice, it's not just simply at first relaxing. It takes effort to meditate effortlessly, if that makes sense. And it takes time, lots of time, your time, my time, and consciously doing it. I wish I could tell you that the results of meditation practice are instantaneous and that they appear the first time you sit, but this is not the case, at least in my experience. Like all habits, meditation and mindfulness have to be built through effort and time. Playing music on the guitar is not the same as practicing scales and fingering. The analogy to meditation is a good one. Meditation is your practice, and its results over time will affect your whole life. At least I've found this to be true, and I've been meditating for many years, and it's been hard work much of the time. For me, these habits don't come easily, and I'm a genius at rationalizing on any given day why I should wait until the next day to do my meditation practice. The only one that I've harmed this by doing this is myself. It just took me much longer than average for the results of meditation practice to kick in. Enough said.